এই স্ক্রিনটা একটুখানি সরিয়ে দাও, এখানে অন্ধকার হচ্ছে। এটা একটুখানি সরিয়ে দাও। এই টেক্সট কি এতে আসছে? হুম, 118। Okay, we'll start with our prayers. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asraye Bhishta Siddhaye. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So, as usual, we'll start with our reading of complete works of Swami Vivekananda. David.
Yes, Swami. I'm continuing reading from The Real Nature of Man. What is the utility, the effect, the result of this knowledge that the infant is man's true nature? In these days, we have to measure everything by utility, by how many pounds, shillings, and pence it represents. What right has a person to ask that truth should be judged by the standard of utility or money? Suppose there is no utility. Will it be less true? Utility is not the test of truth. Nevertheless, there is the highest utility in this. Happiness, we see, is what everybody is seeking for, but the majority seek it in things which are evanescent and not real. No happiness was ever found in the senses. There never was a person who found happiness in the senses or enjoyments of the senses. Happiness is only found in the spirit. Therefore, the highest utility for mankind is to find this happiness in the spirit. The next point is that...
happiness. Not only happiness, we are searching security. We are searching our, our soul. What is this? What is the substratum? You know, outside world promises many things, but it gives nothing. See, even happiness or joy, nothing can give outside. I mean, outside things cannot give these. We feel happiness within. And secondly, if we want to depend on anything, what we depend on? External things, they are not stable. Say, if you are walking with the help of a stick which is not stable, you cannot rely on it. So that stability should be from within. So Satyam, we are searching truth. Jnanam, knowledge. We are searching knowledge. We are searching stability. We are searching happiness, joy, bliss. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And it is infinite. And it is most beautiful. We are searching that. But we are searching in a wrong place. You know, like that story, a gentleman lost his ring. And because that place where he lost, it was very crowded, say Kumbh Mela. So it is difficult to search there. So he came out from that place and searching in another pond. Then people also tried to help him. But one gentleman came and said, can you tell me where did you lose your ring? He said, in that place that where too much of crowd. So why are you searching here? So it is not only for him, we also are searching in a wrong place. So the most beautiful, most valuable is already within us. But we are searching in outside objects. It's very subtle. You know, we search in friends. We think that friends will help. But friends will not help. Always it's not their fault, but it is in the nature. And that we are studying. Asarva bhutayam rajjo sarparopavat. So we create this world, outside world. And we are searching there. Say, in our dream, we are searching solace. We are searching truth. We are searching happiness, stability, our real nature. We cannot find it in that dream. We cannot find in our stories. For that we need to delve within. And we are so fortunate that the various means are given to search. First, superimpose, and then desuperimpose. And then what remains? That is our real self. That is the real man. Okay, next.
The next point is that ignorance is the great mother of all misery. And the fundamental ignorance is to think that the infinite weeps and cries,
So
that
this
he
is
is
jnana. So what Swamiji will indicate? That because we are ignorant, that is why we are unhappy. Knowledge gives us empowerment. It's a great power. In the midst of great suffering, if you know that this is all false, and you can never be lost yourself. You can never lose yourself. In that situation, this is a great solace. Even body is dying. Says Sri Ramakrishna, even he was suffering from cancer, but he was happy like a child. Why like a child? Because child is beyond three gunas. He's beyond sattva, rajas, and tamas. So, a, a person who is within this control of sattva, rajas, and tamas are influenced by it. But Sri Ramakrishna is not like that. So, it does not matter whether body is dying, but he who has known his own self, that knowledge empowers and removes all suffering. Yes.
This is the basis of all ignorance, that we, the immortal, the ever pure, the perfect spirit, think that we are little minds, that we are little bodies. It is the mother of all selfishness. As soon as I think that I am a little body, I want to preserve it, to protect it, to keep it nice at the expense of other bodies. Then you and I become separate. As soon as this idea of separation comes, it opens the door to all mischief and leads to all misery. This is the utility that if a very small fractional part of human beings living today can put aside the idea of selfishness, narrowness, and littleness, this earth will become a paradise tomorrow. But with machines and improvements of material knowledge only, it will never be. These only increase misery, as oil poured on fire increases the flame all the more. Without the knowledge of the Spirit, all material knowledge is only adding fuel to fire, only giving into the hands of selfish man one more instrument to take what belongs to others, to live upon the life of others, instead of giving up his life for them.
Okay. So, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhav. We are eternal. I am eternal. I am ever pure. Shuddha, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, ever intelligent and ever free. But somehow we think we are these little bodies, little minds, and their suffering starts. And then it multiplies because of outside gadgets, outside help. So misery is multiplied. Whereas if we can discover this reality, then misery goes away. So this is because of the limiting adjuncts, limiting identification, identifying oneself what we are not. How this happens? That we are studying that. It happens because of the power of ignorance, ajnana, avidya, or we can also call maya, yama. So, how it happens? Atasmin tad buddhi. Whatever it is not, we think that it is. Yes. Go ahead.
Is it practical? Is another question. Can it be practiced in modern society? Truth does not pay homage to any society, ancient or modern. Society has to pay homage to truth or die. Society should be molded upon truth, and truth has not to adjust itself to society. If such a noble truth as unselfishness cannot be practiced in society, it is better for a man to give up society and go into the forest. That is the daring man. There are two sorts of courage. One is the courage of facing the cannon, and the other is the courage of spiritual conviction. An emperor who invaded India was told by his teacher to go and see some of the sages there. After a long search for one, he found a very old man sitting on a block of stone. The emperor talked with him a little and became very much impressed by his wisdom. He asked the sage to go to his country with him. "No," said the sage, "I am quite satisfied with my forest here." Said the emperor, "I will give you money, position, wealth. I am the emperor of the world." "No," replied the man, "I don't care for those things." The emperor replied, "If you do not go, I will kill you." The man smiled serenely and said, "That is the most foolish thing you've ever said, Emperor. You cannot kill me. Me the sun cannot dry, fire cannot burn, sword cannot kill, for I am the birthless, the deathless, the ever-living, omnipotent, omnipresent spirit." This is spiritual boldness, while the other is the courage of a lion or a tiger.
Okay.
In the
So, yeah, like one thing is Swami said, unselfishness. It is very difficult, of course, very difficult. But selfishness, it is because one sees the whole world is his own. We can see in the life of Holy Mother, she loves all equally. So, it is because she identified that আমার মধ্যে যিনি, who is within me, তোমার মধ্যে তিনি, he is within you, and ডুলি বাগদি ডোমের মধ্যে তিনি. That means he is even in outcast everyone. That is why for her Amjad was equal to Sharat Maharaj, Swami Sharadananda Maharaj. So that is why her love flowed to all without selfish uh, say identification or selfish ends. So that's unselfishness. And courage, that courage comes because of the identification. This is all the what Swamiji is enumerating. What is the advantage of knowledge? So advantage gives a person unselfishness and also courage to face even the tiger, because he knows that body cannot die. What the emperor, it's Alexander, and what happened to him? While returning, he died on the way. And he instructed his physicians that bring all the jewels or riches that he gathered during the loot, during conquests. And it was spread, and his hands were empty when he was taken for burial, to show that if even an emperor goes empty-handed from this world. So why to limit, why to identify with this limited world, limited adjunct? That, and this said, you cannot kill me. You may be worldly, you are an emperor, but you cannot kill me. This is the courage to face even death. Yeah.
In the mutiny of 1857, there was a Swami, a very great soul, whom a Mohammedan mutineer stabbed severely. The Hindu mutineers caught and brought the man to the Swami, offering to kill him. But the Swami looked up calmly and said, "My brother, thou art he," and expired. This is another instance. What good is it to talk of the strength of your muscles, of the superiority of your Western institutions, if you cannot make truth square with your society? If you cannot build up a society into which the highest truth will fit? What is the good of this boastful talk about your grandeur and greatness if you stand up and say, "This courage is not practical"? Is nothing practical but pounds, shillings, and pence? If so, why boast of your society? That society is the greatest, where the highest truths become practical. That is my opinion. And if society is not fit for the highest truths, make it so, and the sooner the better. Stand up, men and women, in the spirit. Dare to believe in the truth. Dare to practice the truth. The world requires a few hundred bold men and women. Practice that boldness which dares know the truth, which dares show the truth in life, which does not quake before death, nay, welcomes death, makes a man know that he is the spirit, that in the whole universe nothing can kill him. Then you will be free. Then you will know your real soul. This Atman is first to be heard, then thought about, and then meditated upon.
So, this is the advantage of knowing the truth, discovering the truth. See, like India was invaded by foreigners, enslaved, not fully, but at least part for about 800 years. And lots of atrocities happened. But India is still living. And Swami Vivekananda said that survival of the fittest, if this is the rule of this world, India is surviving, that means it is most fitted and most powerful. Why it is so? Because the society was based on truth. And like that Swami, lots of realized souls guided the society. And that is why even invaders came, they were ruling the country. But that did not disturb the inner life of the nation. And when time came, when divided now in three parts or three or four, but still India is growing. That shows inherent strength. That shows the spiritual power. Because India has to survive to impart spiritual knowledge to the world. And Swamiji said, don't think that I have come to the West. It is the spirit of India that pushed me to come here. So, in short, this is the advantage of discovering the truth that is inherent within us. So let us go back to our text. Now we have completed this section where we have studied how superimposing something which is not real and then de-superimposition. So superimposition and de-superimposition. This is the way of Vedanta. See, it is like this. To tell someone, this, there was I tell that story. After telling the story, everybody is imagining that, oh, that prince born in a big country and in a happy family, he entered into a forest and he was lost, and then he discovers a palace, and then he discovers a princess. So everybody is imagining and what will happen. And then I say it is all false. There is nothing like that. So it is first to tell something, some story, and then negating it. So superimposition and de-superimposition. So to discover the truth, we have this body-mind complex and this whole world. So how to discover what is hidden here? So first we have to understand what is this world, what is this body, this mind, and this whole creation. But Vedanta is not for analyzing all these things. Ultimately, what it does, it discards. That it is not what we are talking. Asarpa bhutayam rajjo sarpa aropavat. Like whatever on the rope we impose a snake. We impose a snake on a rope. But actually, when we bring light, there is no there is no snake. Only rope remains. So this whole consideration is superimposition. What is this world? Ultimately it is the evolution of Prakriti. But Prakriti, what is Prakriti? It is Ajnana. Ajnana. Ajnana, nescience. Or we can say Pradhana. Or we can say Maya. Yama. That which is not. Or Avidya. Avidya means again like ignorance. Not knowing things correctly. See, when we see a snake on a rope, we know something, but it is not proper knowledge. We impose that there is something there. And then we try to discover what is that. Then we bring light, then we discover, oh, it is nothing. It's a rope only. So, what we have up till now, what we have done, we have, see, asarpa bhutayam rajjo sarpa aropavat vastuni avastu arapa. On the substratum, something is superimposed. And what is that something? This whole universe. And what is this whole universe? The gross universe, including this gross body, whatever we see. And then subtle universe, and subtle, that in our mind, and then our thoughts, our feeling, all kinds of things. So what all those are? So whatever we see gross, it is Annamaya Kosha. It is play of, here it is food, but here is matter. So matter, actually food is, what is food? Food is also matter. So display of matter in various combination and recombination. What is that combination, recombination? Trigunatmika, that is sattva, rajas, tamas. Say like this, we can take this example of this computer. And those are connected with this computer. So it has a gross computer. You have a gross computer. But behind that is subtle computer. So whatever is gross is Annamaya Kosha. Behind that is Pranamaya, like all activities are going on. And all the thought behind for coding this. So Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and the knowledge. So all these are encompassed in the causal. What is that causal? Somebody thought there should be a computer. There should be an internet. And that is the cause. So, behind that is, all these are evolutes of Prakriti. So, who is the Purusha? Discard all these. You are the Purusha. Say like this, we have a body. So it is Annamaya Kosha. Then we have Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. So these are subtle. First is gross, the matter. Second is subtle. Three layers. But behind that is causal. What is that? Anandamaya Kosha. That we feel in our dreamless state. And behind that is the Purusha. Who is the Purusha? You yourself. But when we say Purusha, as if I am objectifying, we are not to objectify, rather, say you are listening. Who is listening? Yes, you can say my body is listening. But body is only instrument, like ears. And eyes are seeing. So these are gross. Behind that is your thoughts, understanding, knowledge. So those are subtle. But behind that is the cause that I want to know, I want to discover. But who is that I who wants to discover? That is the self with ignorance. So who is that? This is called Vishwa when individually taken. When it is taken collectively, it is called Vaishwanara or Sutratma. Um, Virat, when it is taken collectively, or Vishwarup. And when it is subtle, say our mind, our intellect, and the activities, these are subtle. What happens when it is individual, it is called Taijas, but when it is collective, it is called Hiranyagarbha, or this is Hiranyagarbha Sutratma. Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma, because it's like a thread, it is pervading everything. And behind that is Ishvara. Ishvara means who is the cause of all these, who creates, preserves, and destroys. And individually we call him Prajna. Now all these are evolutes, even Ishvara. So Ishvara means what we say, the personal God. Personal God. That is also within this Prakriti. What is this? Within the Prakriti means it is Maya Upahita Chaitanya. Chaitanya, it is consciousness, but say Brahman plus Maya. So that is what we call Ishvara, God. But behind that is Brahman. That is consciousness, Chaitanya. Chaitanya. That is the real indication, what we want to say. That is why now we just, the sum total of the gross, subtle, causal worlds makes a vast universe, as the sum total of smaller forests makes a vast forest, or collection of smaller lakes makes a vast expanse of water. So it is like gross, but behind that is subtle. Now, etad upahita Vaishwanaradi Ishwar Paryantam. So consciousness associated with this. So consciousness is important. Not all this that we have studied. 14th lokas, bhuvanas, bhur, bhuva, swa, mahajanas, tapa, satya. All these are evolutes. We are not interested in it. You know, today modern science can question, how do you know that 14 lokas are there? We are not interested. We are to even not to prove it or disprove it. What we have to show that all these are evolutes of Prakriti. It's only projected. It is Srishta. But who is the main thing? The consciousness. You cannot deny yourself. So we are discovering our own self. Consciousness associated with this from Ishvara, Vaishwanara to Ishvara. Vaishwanara means the gross world and related, whatever it is. And then subtle, that means Hiranyagarbha and Sutratma. What is that? The mental world, the subtle world, which we cannot see outside, and up to the Ishvara, God. All these. And what is that? All these are witnessed by consciousness. That consciousness and individual consciousness are not too different. We are studying consciousness, not the creation. Shankaracharya said in one place, we are not Srishti Chintaka. We are trying to discover the truth, because truth is the power. So is also one and the same as the space enclosed by the number of smaller forests is the same as that enclosed by the big forest of which they form part, or as the sky reflected uh, in different smaller lakes is the same as that reflected in the vast expanse of water. So sky is important, not water, whether individual drop or big lake. Okay, we go to the next. Abhyam. Consciousness unassociated with any adjuncts. So one is Upahita Chaitanya. Say like when I witness this body, mind, intellect, etc., that's Upahita Chaitanya. But a greater part is unupahita, that means not associated, unassociated with any adjuncts. Tripadasya amritam divi. The three-fourth is that one. There is no, like, we cannot divide that. It's an impression, it's a expression, how to speak. So, okay, some portion is associated with this world, but greater portion is not associated with. So consciousness unassociated with any adjuncts, upadhis, whatsoever, when not discriminated like the red hot iron ball from the vast universe, and the consciousness associated with it becomes the direct import of the great Vedic dictum, all this is verily Brahman, everything is Brahman. Why it is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahman? Because that which is unassociated or associated is all one. It is not many. So that's why, and Upahita Chaitanya, that means we see this, the whole world, gross, subtle, and causal. It's because of the consciousness. That is why this is also, we can say, as we extend that, yes, this is also Brahman. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahman. So, when not discriminated like the red hot iron ball. So, red hot iron ball, what happens? Like heat changes the color of iron and it becomes red. So, actually, it is because of heat. So, presence of heat, that is important. So, we can say, yeah, heat has pervaded, not invaded, pervaded the whole iron. That is why it is hot. So, similarly, this whole world is pervaded by this consciousness, the self. That is why it is part. That is why unselfishness comes. That is why we should not harm others. This is the strength. First we have to discover here, and then same heat, as it were, consciousness, same consciousness is pervaded everything. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad abhyakt murtina. I have pervaded the whole world by my unmanifested form. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad abhyakt murtina. Matsthani sarvbhutani na chaham tishavastita. All bhutas are in me. Say, I dream. All the dream is pervaded by me. But those dreams are not me. Only pervaded. So, what is pervaded, that we have to see. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhyakt murtina. Matsthani sarvbhutani. Without me, those dreams cannot stand. Matsthani sarvbhutani. Nachaham teshavasat. I am not in them. Because if I am there, then the next morning when dreams disappear, then I will also disappear. That never happens. So dreams depend on me, this whole world depends on me, but I am not dependent on this worldly things. Masthani sarvbhutani na chaham teshavita. Na cha masthani bhutani paschame yoga maishram. Even these bhutas are not residing in me. I alone exist. That is why you say sarvam khalvidam brahma. Actually, there is no sarvam. This all are imagination, all are projection. And projection stops. How we can prove that it is all our projection? My story. The prince rides on a horse, he enters in a forest and he loses himself. Then he goes deeper and deeper, and it was dark. But all of a sudden he looks at the distance. Oh, there is a big palace, and he enters into it. And he discovers a princess is lying there, unconscious. What happened? Oh, then he discovers that there is a bird, parrot, and that parrot holds the key of that life. So all these are stories. What I am saying, stories are dependent on me, but I am not dependent on the stories. That's why I can discard, okay, all this is false. Even stories are not me. No, even this is seeming. So this whole world, similarly, this whole world depends on me. But when I give value, if I don't give value, they don't depend. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhyakt murtina masthani sarvbhutani nachaham te shavasita nachamasthani bhutani pashyami yoga maishram. These are also not in me. I alone exist. And sometimes it's my sport, I play with myself. That's why in Bhakti Yoga we say Leela. So he becomes devotees, and sometimes devotees ride on him, and he rides on devotees. And sometimes even, Sri Ramakrishna Leela. So Hriday serves him. Sometimes he torments him also. So all these are Leela from devotee's standpoint. Devotees wants to enjoy, okay, let me have it. But ultimately it is God who has taken all the forms. Okay, now let us go forward. Sarvam khalvidam brahma iti maha vakyasya vachyam bhavati viviktam sallaksham api bhavati. Let me read the whole thing. Consciousness unassociated with any adjuncts, upadhis, whatsoever, when not discriminated like the red hot iron ball from the vast universe, and the consciousness associated with it, so unassociated and associated, becomes like the direct import of the great Vedic dictum. So from Advaitic standpoint, these are all projected, illusory. But from devotee's standpoint, okay, let me have it. Then I can have prasad. Then I can enjoy the company of devotees. So associated and unassociated. But actually it is all one, not many. That's why Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Vedic dictum, verily Brahman. And when discriminated from them, it becomes the implied meaning of the text. That means Sarvam, implied meaning means everything is Brahman. There is no false creation. So the knower of Brahman knows that it is all play. We don't take play seriously. In a school, maybe school is divided into two and they have a soccer game. But after winning, They say, okay, okay, let's embrace ourselves. Then they have snacks and have fun. So this division is only for fun. But what happens to us? Are we do we enjoy? No, we suffer. That is why we need to know this. एवं वस्तुनि अवस्तु आरोपो अध्यारोप सामान्येन प्रदर्शितो. So all these are superimposed. Thus has been shown in general the process of superimposition, which is the attributing of unreality to the real. So all these are, yeah, we can say very nice, beautiful. But beauty is within. Because of that beauty, then we project, oh, beautiful. A potato seller does not recognize beauty. He is busy with selling potatoes. He has not discovered his self. The person who has discovered the self, he knows that this beauty, whatever beauty we project, actually it is inner beauty. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. No. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Whatever is truth, that is existing, and that is awareness, and it is auspicious. And Sundaram, it is beautiful, most beautiful. Not outside, it is inside. When we appreciate outside beauty, we appreciate our inner beauty. So this is Vastuni avastu aropa adhyaropa samanyena pradeshita. Thus has been shown in general the process of superimposition, which is the attributing of unreality to the real. Now, idanim pratyagatmani idam ayam aropita aropayatiti visheshata uchyate. Now will be considered in particular how people variously superimpose on the innermost self which ideas as I am this. You know, the next section will come like that. What is that? Like, a person loses his wealth. And he lost, say, he had only say $100,000 and he lost everything. So what happens? If you ask, how are you? He will say, oh, I am not there. I am gone. But he is there. So now this Vedantasara will show what we really are and how we identify ourselves with worldly things and things that we have disappeared. So this is the beauty of this. Now to discover what we really are. Like health. When we lose our health, you say, I'm gone. But actually I'm not gone. My spirit is there. Why I am gone? So this is thus has been shown in general the process of superimposition, which is the attributing of unreality to the real. Let me see, where is that here? Now, this is the what is happening from Advaitic standpoint. Na nirodha, na chotpatti. Like chitta vritti nirodha. But Advaita outright discards. There is no chitta vritti. All is all projected. So there is no need of stopping that. Na nirodha, na utpat. Because there is no production. It's all superimposition. So there is no need of even discarding that. Na baddho na cha sadhaka. There is no bondage. Therefore, there is no person who is putting his effort to go beyond. Na mumukshur na vaimukta. There is no seeker of freedom. As we, why? Because there is no na na mumukshur na mukta. There is no person um, who is bound or who is free. So everything is negated. Ityesha paramarthata. That is the highest truth. Paramartha satya. Paramartha satya means there are four kinds of truth as we know. One is alik satya. Alik means what does not exist, like horn of a hare. So it does not exist, or son of a barren woman does not exist, but it gives a notion that somebody is there. That's called alik satya. Then pratibhasika satya. Pratibhasika satya means when you stand in front of a mirror and you shave it, but you don't shave there, you shave here. So it is reflected. You cannot say it is not there because you are seeing it. So it's called pratibhasika, reflected. Then third is vyavaharika, transactional or practical. So like I am seeing this world, this is practical, this is pratibhasika. Vyavaharika, vyavaharik satta. But paramarthik is trikala abadita. In three tenses, it never changes. So this is what will be shown. Thus has been shown in general the process of superimposition, which is the attributing of unreality to the real. So real, who is real? Me, the person, my consciousness, not my consciousness, me as consciousness, the awareness, me the truth, me the awareness, me the bliss. But as of now, what happens? I feel, I think, oh, I am bound. That's why I am suffering. So this is not real. Ultimately or supremely, that never changes. That is why na nirodho, na chotpatti, na baddho, na cha sadhaka, na mumukshur vai, na muktaha. Ityesha paramarthata. So this is the supreme truth. So, but what happens? We mingled with the things of the world. So, we will go to the next because we can cover a little because a little time is there. Idanim pratyagatmani idam idamayam ayam aropita iti visheshata uchyate. Now will be considered in particular. Now it will be considered in particular how people variously superimpose on the innermost self such ideas as I am this, I am this. Various ideas will be given. But all those are superimposed. You'll see that fallacy. How? It will depend on three things. First, Shruti. Whatever scriptures say, it will quote Shruti. Yukti, then rationality, the logic. And through logic you will understand that that's a false. Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. And also your realization. So by this way, we will discover what is our reality and what we impose on us. Okay. Now will be considered in particular how people variously superimpose on the innermost self such ideas as I am this, I am this. So my reality, on that I superimpose, wealth, things of the world, even relationship, even this body, mind. This is me. And if somebody pinches me, yes, I feel pain. But actually, it is I am feeling, so I am not that. So it will be discovered. Okay, I am this, I am this. Now, ati prakritastu atma vai jayate putra. Now, the Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, I said three things. It will quote scriptures. Atma vai jayate putra. Even, son, it is said that it's the same self is born as a son. इत्यादि श्रुते स्वस्मिन् निव पुत्रे अपि प्रेम दर्शनात् पुत्रे पुष्टे नष्टे चा अहमेव पुष्ट नष्ट नश्चेत्याद्यनुभवाच्च पुत्र आत्मेति वदति. So people say, this is my son. It's difficult, but this is the truth. So, thus, for example, an extremely deluded man speaks of his son as his own self. On account of such Shruti passages as, verily, the self is born as the son, owing also to the fact that one loves one's son as one's own self. So this is rationality. So one is quotation from the scripture, why we feel so, and we have every right to love. And scripture says, we also feel that way. Yes, it's my son. To the fact that one loves one's son as one's own self. And further, because of the experience that one feels oneself prosperous or ruined according as one's son fares well or ill. Say, suppose son is ill and he worries, and say somebody's son died. And then if you ask, how do you do? He'll say, am I there? I'm gone. Similarly, if he loses his wealth, he also says, I'm gone. But actually, no, he has not gone. So this is one statement. Atmavi jayate putra. So those who are superimpose relationship, its example is given only of son, but example can be extended to other relationship, even wealth, but all these are not our real self. That is to be impressed. Now, Charvakastu Sava Esha Purusha Anna Rasamaya. So, Taittiriya Upanishad says, so Shruti says, scripture says, one school of Charvakas. Charvakas here means those who are materialists. However, holds that this physical body is the self. And we are all Charvakas, for that matter. We also think that I am this body. So we are like Charvakas. So Sava Esha Purusha Anna Rasamaya. Anna Rasamaya means the production of matter and rasa, the sapidity. One school of Charvakas, however, holds that this physical body is the self. On account of such Shruti passages as man is constituted of the essence of food. The essence of food. And what happens? We eat food and then digest it, assimilate it, and we grow. So, and you can say, oh, you are very handsome. Or you can say, oh, you are very beautiful. But what are you praising? Praising only the food, matter. So that's why Somebody said, who is this? It's all pizzas. So, man is constituted of the essence of food, Taittiriya Upanishad, owing also to the fact that a man rushes out from a burning house, even leaving behind his son. So, why his son? Even it happened that if once or maybe few times, even to save oneself, one sacrifices his own progeny. So, owing also to the fact that a man rushes out from a burning house, even leaving behind his son, and further, because of such experience as I am stout, I am thin, etc. What happens? Uh, I have grown big, or I am lean and thin, or I am very weak. But actually, body is weak, body is lean and thin, or grown big. So all the attributes of body we superimpose on us, the real us. Okay, we stop here because now it will be similar. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Three things. Any question? Akshay?
Yes, like how does enlightened person think of his relations?
Okay. They experience both. Sri Ramakrishna was standing and Akshay was passing away. And he saw that, Akshay was his niece. No, what is that? Not niece.
Nephew.
Nephew. So nephew was passing, and he was clapping. Why? He saw that self is like a soul. It came out of his body. Body was dead. So first he clapped and was enjoying this scenario. But then the idea, who is this Akshay? Oh, my nephew. And then he was he later said that my heart was ring like nichodna, writhing like that. My heart was like paining. So then he understood how worldly people feel when their own son passes away. Because he was only nephew, but he raised him. He used to play with him. So that way, the realized souls, because they are not bound with anything, so they experience. Like body idea. The person, say Sri Ramakrishna, is experiencing. He would complain to mother, Mother, it's paining. I cannot eat anything. Please make this he remembered that a skeleton is joined by the wire. So he prayed to mother, Mother. He could not say, cure me. So he said, make my frame like that skeleton of the Asiatic society, so that it can go to devotees' place, sing your glories. So that way he said. That also he did not do on his own. Hriday forced him to go and ask mother. But he could not say fully. That time all of a sudden, he remembered the skeletons are kept with wire. So, an incarnation of God, they realized both the things, the pangs of separation and also that state where they are totally separate. those who are jnanis, they may experience, but they will not own it. For incarnation, it is important. Why? Because that is why they are compassionate to the worldly people. They understand the suffering of worldly people. That is why Buddha Bhagavan, after realization, he opened his heart for the general public. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened his heart for general public. Sri Ramakrishna did the same thing. Christ did the same thing. But a jnani may experience. That's why, right from the beginning, he's separated from the family. And all the fetters are cut asunder. It is totally. He's not affected. So he is totally away from it. If there is a tinge, he doesn't bother about it. Girish Chandra Ghosh would say that Mahamaya could not bind two people. One is Vivekananda. Whenever Mahamaya wanted to bind him, he became bigger and bigger. And Nag Mahashaya, whenever Mahamaya wanted to bind him, he became smaller. So totally surrendered to God. So this ego is to be removed from us. So these are two extremes. Even Swamiji had also compassion, because he is to feel for people, suffering of people. That's why he said, feel my children for the suffering, for downtrodden. The feeling only gives, your heart is full, and then your hands work for their welfare. So it is not for himself. That is why he said, I am ready to suffer the hellfire and to take birth till a dog does not realize its own self. And to say this. So their feeling is there, but at the same time they can separate. See, it is like, say, a PhD, a big, say, wise person. He knows all these things. Therefore, he can play with anyone, but he is not involved. He knows that he knows more than all those things. He may go to primary school, play with the children, and try to uplift them, but he knows that I am not involved in it. So, what we read in the beginning, Swami Vivekananda said, that empowers, that gives strength, courage to face even the direst calamities. So then, the Bhava Goshpada Varijathai, this whole world becomes like a mud puddle. Imagination. Okay, it is like this. When you dream, in your dream, a tiger was chasing you, or maybe dog was chasing you, right? And you are running, and then all of a sudden you wake up. And then, what do? Oh, it is all my imagination because I was dreaming. So that happens to the realized souls. Right? Akshay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are so wonderful. Jai Ma.
Maharaj,
Eh?
you said Pratibhasita Satta,
Eh?
and then the next one was Vyavaharika,
Oh, Pratibhasika.
Pratibhasita.
First,
That means the shadow you are seeing in the mirror.
yeah. First is Alik,
Alik.
Shashavishan or Bandhyaputra. Shashavishan means horn on a hair. It doesn't, but it gives a horn and hair, so it gives a notion. Bandhyaputra, son of a barren woman. But barren woman, so it is impossible. So that's Alik Satta. Then Pratibhasika, like image in a mirror or your shadow. So this is, you cannot deny, but it is not there, you know very well. Like monkeys, they fight, or maybe birds, they fight. Monkeys in the initial stage, they fight, then they go behind, then they find nobody is there. So it is pratibhasika. Third, vyavaharika, transactional. So vyavaharika means, say like this world, when you are hungry, you have to eat. You cannot deny, no, this body does not exist. Then this body will not exist. Okay. So that's called vyavaharika. You have to do everything, whatever is required. Whatever duties we are ordained. But hunger comes, goes away. But one thing never changes. That's called paramarthika, the fourth one. Paramarthika, that I am always there. This conscious being, the witness, the Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Svabhava, it never ceased to exist. See, we are so infatuated with this world, but what happens when we go to sleep? We forget whole world. Even say dreaming, that dream also goes away. We experience every day that this world does not belong to us. And it is not me. It is only a projection. Every day we experience this. But somehow we are so infatuated that we cannot get rid of it. So this world, temporary, vyavaharika. Dream world, pratibhasika. But keep these aside. Your real self is paramarthika. Paramarthika. That never ceases to exist. All the time it is there. You cannot say, yes, Swamiji, I am attending your class, but I was not there. So in wakeful state, you are there. In dreaming state, you cannot say, I dreamt, but I was not there. Because you were there, that's why you dreamt. So you were there. Third, when you don't dream, that time, say dreamless sleep, that time everything is merged, but you are there in your consciousness, because when you come out of it, then you say, oh, Sukham aham aswapsam na kinchit avedisham. I slept so well that I did not know anything. So anything that we remember, that means we experienced. Say we are talking, so later we can remember. So this experience can be remembered. Similarly, in dreamless state, we experience, that is why we remember. Though we do not have the identity of sense, that I, that ego disappears, merges, everything merges. That's why dreamless state. But all these are placed in or present in the supreme that reality. That means myself, my Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, Atman. Okay, that's a Paramarthika.
So these three states that you just said, that Vaishyanara, Tejas and Pragya.
Yeah,
Those
gross, subtle, subtle and causal. Uh, very good question. So,
And that also you compare with the Jagrata, Sapna, and Sushupti,
correct,
right?
correct. So,
Yeah.
uh, when single, it's called Vishwa. But when it is collective, then we say Virat or Vishwarup or Vaishwanara. Okay.
Vaishyanara, yeah.
But subtle parts, say my mind, my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, my feeling, all these are my uh, like my memory. All these are called Tejas. And when it is collective, taken all together,
Hiranyagarbha.
then we call Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma. And subtle. See, Jagrat and Swapna came from Sushupti.
Oh.
Similarly, that's a subtle, sorry, causal. So that is called Pragya. And when it is collective, so we call it Ishvara or God.
Oh.
Saguna Ishvara or personal God. In English, there is no concept of Brahman. So we say uh, personal God, but when it is behind this Anupahita, Anupahita Chaitanya, consciousness without any identification of adjuncts, Anupahita, that's Brahman. He is not tainted by anything. And for that, you don't need to go there. You can feel within that something is not attached with this whole world,
Mm.
Anupahita. And all this is happening because of superimposition. We superimpose on us.
Mhm.
And the example is given that we identify with our money, with relationship, but all these are only Jagrata.
Mm.
In dream, you forget. Where is our family? Where is our wealth? If you try to remember, oh, I have $1 million in my account, you won't sleep. Okay, so we willingly we renounce it. Okay, we'll see later. More things will come. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, Pranam Maharaj.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jai Ma Jai